welcome to Steve's Retro Loft. Today I'm going to take a look at a couple of things. First, the joystick, and also the RAM Turbo interface. The RAM Turbo was a cheaper alternative to the Sinclair ZX Interface 2. It offered all the same features, but it also gave you an additional Kempston, Protec and cursor key compatible joystick interface. This unit also had a handy little reset switch on the side. The ROM cartridge insertion was quite simple. Just open the flap on the top and push the cartridge in. There weren't many ROM cartridges to choose from, 10 from what I remember, and they were priced around about £15, so the cassette was often a cheaper alternative. Now it's all connected up. Let's power the Spectrum up. Let's see, instant loading, but that's to be expected with a ROM cartridge. Not a big fan of joystick control for certain games, and I don't think this game lends itself too well to this particular joystick. If I can get hold of a Nintendo style D-pad, I might give that a try. That might probably be more preferable method of controlling a game. Oh. For some reason the file wasn't working then. Yeah, the movement in this particular joystick just seems to be there's a lot of play in it, so it tends to exaggerate some of the movements for me. Yeah, maybe I just got used to playing with keys for the years with Spectrum games. Whoops. Oops. As I say, I just don't find it that controllable with this this particular joystick. But I'll see what I can do in the future with another pad. Unfortunately, Jetpack's the only ROM cartridge I own, and again, it's one of these ones I picked up from an eBay auction for a Spectrum. And the person I bought it off said, "Oh, I've got this other game, I've got this cartridge if you want it." And I said yes, and he didn't charge me any extra, which was really nice. I suppose that was in the early days of eBay when people didn't fully appreciate the value of everything they had, which is was nice. There you go. I know that you want to watch me play the whole of the game, so let's move on. To conclude, the RAM Turbo interface was actually a useful, cheaper alternative to the ZX Interface 2 at the time. It's one of those things you could have gone by without using. I wasn't a massive user of the joystick, but for some games it was actually slightly better. But for others, I'd stick to the keyboard, and I think I probably will stick to the keyboard where I can, unless I can get a different type of joystick, because the movement in this one is probably a bit too much for my liking. As for ROM cartridges, well, I think pretty much every Spectrum collector seems to just own Jetpack. There are 10 or 15 or so of different Sinclair and Ultimate titles out there to collect, but unfortunately the prices of these things now are getting quite high. But if you do find one cheap and you don't want it, let me know. Thank you for joining us on this shorter episode of Steve's Retro Loft. As I said, I've been taking a look at some of the devices and peripherals over the last few weeks as to what I'll be using for this channel. So if I do need a joystick, or if I do need a ROM cartridge port in the future, then this interface will do the trick. If I can get hold of a ZX Interface 2 at any point, then I might look at that as well. But thank you for watching, and hope to see you soon. Bye bye.